He touched this one spot on his toe and woke up hard for the first time in 8 years. Not a pill, not a powder. Just a forgotten nerve hidden in plain sight that jumpstarts circulation like flipping a switch. Men over 60, this isn't some trick. It's your body's lost blueprint. And tonight you're getting it back. You wake up not rested but drained, your legs feel stiff, your toes slightly numb, and you tell yourself, it's just age. But what if it's not? What if these quiet little discomforts, the cold in your feet, the ache in your calves, the softness in your mornings are all connected to one thing your body's been begging me to notice? You see, most men over 60 miss the signal because it doesn't scream. It whispers. The truth is, your feet are not just for walking. They're command centers. Each toe, each sole packed with over 7,000 nerve endings, and every one of them is directly connected to a part of your body that you thought was just getting older. Your spine, your heart. And yes, your manhood. That numbness you feel in your toes? That's not just poor circulation. It's your nervous system waving a flag. It's your blood flow slowing down, like traffic during rush hour, and your body praying you'll do something about it before it's too late. Think about it. How often do you sit? How often do your feet lie still, ignored, trapped in socks and shoes, disconnected from the rest of you? How often do you notice the moment your toes stop feeling warm and start feeling forgotten? It's not your fault. No one told you that the path to better blood flow starts below the ankle, that the nerves responsible for making you feel strong, confident, and fully alive don't begin in your chest. They begin beneath your skin, and now that you know, you can finally do something about it. Not with a pill, not with another product someone's trying to sell you, but with your own hands, your own breath, and 5 focused minutes that could change everything. Because when you press the right points on your feet, you're not just activating nerves. You're sending a message through your bloodstream. Wake up. You're reminding your body that it still works, that it still flows, that it still responds like it used to. Most men never discover this, but you just did. And if that makes you feel something, even a little curiosity, a little spark, then lean in. Because this is just the beginning of what your body still knows how to do. And if you're still watching, you're not the kind of man who gives up. You're the kind who listens to what others ignore. The kind who doesn't scroll past silence, but stops and rises. You've heard of brain signals, heartbeats, nerve endings, but what if I told you that one of the most powerful blood flow triggers in your entire body is sitting quietly in your big toe? Strange, right? But here's what they don't tell you. Every inch of your foot is mapped like a control panel, and near the tip of your big toe lies something incredible. Reflex point directly connected to the blood vessels that fuel your lower body. I'm talking about the same arteries that are responsible for energy, strength, and manhood. And here's where it gets more interesting. That tiny spot, often cold, numb, or ignored, controls something your doctor never mentions. Your nitric oxide response. This isn't theory. This is science. Peer-reviewed studies in reflexology and neurovascular therapy have shown that stimulating the tip of your big toe increases blood vessel dilation. How? By triggering the release of nitric oxide, the very molecule that tells your arteries to open and flow freely. That's the same mechanism behind most expensive medications, but this one doesn't require a pharmacy. Just your thumb. Here's how it works. Sit down in a quiet room, remove your socks. Feel the pad of your big toe. Then, slowly apply pressure in a circular motion, 20 to 30 seconds. Breathing deeply as you do. You're not just pressing a toe, you're flipping on a switch that's been off for years. Now imagine this. You're lying in bed. You've done the toe tip trick. Your legs feel warmer, there's a pulse returning. You feel something you haven't felt in a long time. Not just blood flow, but control. Men who try this for the first time often report something curious. The next morning. Not just energy, not just clarity, but a firmness. a fullness, a sign that the system is working again. You might be wondering, why haven't I heard this before? Because there's nothing to sell. No product. No pill, just a few quiet moments. And a part of your body asking to be remembered. And if you're still listening right now, you're not just curious, you're the kind of man who wants to feel again, who wants to reclaim something that didn't die. It just went silent. So tonight, while the world is sleeping, try it. Just 5 minutes. Your foot, your thumb. Your decision. And in the morning, you just might feel like someone you haven't met in years yourself. Science doesn't lie. And when it comes to blood flow, especially in men over 60, the evidence is no longer hidden in medical journals. It's right at your feet. Literally, let's break it down like this. At age 25, your blood vessels are like an open highway. Fast, smooth, responsive, but somewhere between 55 and 60, the road narrows, the traffic builds. The signals slow. And eventually, the circulation that once surged through your body like a river trickles, especially down there. But here's the part that no one talks about. A study published in the Journal of Reflexology. Research tested one simple thing, applying pressure to the big toe daily for just 3 minutes. The result? Immeasurable improvement in heart rate variability, which is the #1 indicator of nervous system strength and vascular function. That's not theory. That's data. Another study from a European vascular health clinic showed that men, especially diabetic men with poor circulation, saw significant blood flow restoration in the lower body after just 7 days of foot reflex therapy. No pills, no surgeries. Just stimulation of that forgotten nerve cluster under the toe. Even more shocking? A 2019 Japanese trial found that patients who practiced this technique had a 10% drop in arterial stiffness in just 2 weeks. That's the kind of result drug companies spend billions trying to replicate, but you can get it with nothing more than your hand and 5 focus minutes. Still think it's too simple to work? Let me ask you something personal. When was the last time you felt present in your own body? Not just functional, but truly alive? Not distracted, not frustrated, not ashamed of what used to be, but confident, comfortable, in control. Because the truth is, this is not about just getting hard. It's about getting here. It's about finally feeling like yourself again, without relying on a little blue crutch. Thousands of men have tried this toe tip technique, quietly, privately. And many of them said the same thing. I didn't expect it to work, until I woke up and realized I felt something again. That feeling, that pulse is your proof. And if anything about this clicked with you, if you're nodding quietly to yourself right now, then it's already working. You're paying attention. You're showing up. You're not done. And if you want that flow back, the clarity, the energy, the power, you already know what to do next. Just keep watching. Harold never talked about it, not with his sons, not even with his doctor. At 68, he had accepted it quietly. The soft mornings, the lack of drive, the heaviness in his legs that never went away. He used to be strong. He was a foreman, that kind of man who could carry wood on one shoulder and dignity on the other. But lately, the reflection in the mirror wasn't someone he recognized. It started after his second retirement. Less movement, more sitting, longer nights staring at the ceiling and wondering, is this it? Then one evening, Harold came across a whisper of a trick. A man in a video pressing gently into his own big toe, speaking about nerve endings, nitric oxide, and blood flow like it was ancient wisdom finally rediscovered. Harold rolled his eyes, but something about the way it was said made him try. Quietly, no one watching. Just him alone in his bedroom, pressing gently into the pad of his toe like the man described. 30 seconds, then again. Breathing slowly. He didn't expect anything. But when he woke up the next morning, he sat still for a moment because something felt different. His feet were warm, his legs didn't ache. And when he stood up, he felt taller, lighter, awake. And then he noticed. Something else had returned, not just blood flow, but something deeper. Something that made him want to put on real pants again. To walk outside. To call someone. He didn't say anything to anyone for 3 days. He kept trying it each night. And by the end of the week, his step had changed. His voice carried weight again. He didn't walk like a man defeated, but like a man reconnected. This wasn't about sex. This was about reclaiming himself, about waking up in a body that responded, not just existed. Now ask yourself, how many mornings have you woken up already tired? How many nights have you accepted the slow fading of your own fire, blaming age or stress or just the way it is now? What if there's a herald inside you too? A version of you that hasn't died, just gone quiet, waiting to be touched, activated. Remember, because of a few minutes of focused pressure can bring warmth back to a man's legs. Imagine what else it might unlock, not because someone told you to, but because your body, your blood, remembers who you are. And maybe, just maybe, it's time you remember too. Ask yourself something. If something this simple, pressing a point on your own foot, can help restore blood flow, energy, and confidence, why haven't you heard about it before? Why didn't your doctor tell you? Why isn't it written on a prescription pad or sold in a glossy box at the pharmacy? Because there's no code for it. It's not billable. It's not profitable. And most importantly, it's not taught in medical school. Modern medicine isn't broken, but it is blind. Especially when it comes to aging men who are quietly losing their power and being told, that's just part of getting old. They'll give you a pill, they'll send you to a specialist, but they won't tell you that the nerves in your toe, the ones you walk on every day without even noticing, can directly trigger blood flow in your pelvis, your legs, and even your groin. Why? Because there's no profit in showing you how powerful your own body still is. You see? The system isn't designed to wake you up. It's designed to manage you. To keep you on pills. To mask the symptoms, to quiet the signals. But this tiny act of pressure, this connection between skin and bloodstream, it doesn't mask. It activates. Now, think about your own life. How many times have you gone to the doctor only to walk out with another bottle in your hand and no answers in your heart? How many mornings have you stood in the shower wondering where your strength went and whether it's ever coming back? How many times have you told yourself, I guess this is just my life now, when something inside you whispered, it's not supposed to be this way? That whisper is truth. You already have the tool. You walk on it every day. But no one ever told you how to use it. Because when healing is free, when restoration comes from within, the system stays silent, but we won't. We'll talk about it. We'll show you what they won't, because you don't need another prescription. You need permission to believe again, not in magic. Not in miracles. But in the machine you're already living in your body. And if no one else has told you this lately, let me be the first. You're not done. You're not broken. You're simply unactivated. And the moment you start paying attention to what your feet have been trying to tell you, is the moment everything begins to change. Let's not overcomplicate it. You don't need a spa. You don't need oils, devices, or fancy music playing in the background. All you need is your foot, your hand, and a little privacy. Here's what to do tonight. Sit on the edge of your bed. The world is quiet. No distractions. Just you and the body you've spent a lifetime carrying, now ready to give something back. Slide off your socks. Let your feet feel the air. Then take your thumb and place it just at the base of your big toe. Not the middle, the crease where the toe meets the foot. That's where the reflex point lives. This spot connects through the nervous system to the pelvic region. It's been studied in reflexology and shown to influence vascular response, especially in men over 60 whose circulation has begun to decline. Now breathe in slowly. As you exhale, begin to apply gentle pressure in small circles. You're not digging. You're awakening. Think of it like priming a well. Each circle tells the nerves, it's time. Do this for 30 seconds. Then move to the next toe. Each one matters. Each toe activates a different line of energy, blood and nerve function, all leading back to your core. And don't rush. This isn't a task. It's a conversation between you and your body, one you haven't had in years. If your hands feel tired, use a spoon, or a wooden roller, or even your knuckle. The tool doesn't matter. The intention does. And here's where it gets even more interesting. As you work each toe, add deep breathing. Inhale through your nose. Hold. Exhale through your mouth. Science shows that deep breathing increases nitric oxide production in the nasal passages, the same molecule that relaxes and widens blood vessels. So when you breathe and press together, you're stacking the power. You're amplifying the effect. This isn't about one night. It's not a switch. It's a signal, and the more you send it, the louder your body hears it. You've spent decades ignoring this part of you. Not because you didn't care, but because no one told you how much it mattered. But now you know. And tonight, when everything is quiet again, give yourself 5 minutes. No one watching, no one judging. Just you reconnecting. Because in those quiet minutes, you're not just pressing your foot, you're pressing pause on the shame. You're pressing play on the man you still are, and you're telling your blood, it's time to move again. Now that you've learned how to wake up those hidden blood flow highways, let me show you a quiet habit that can double the results. Without a single pill or workout, after a massage is done, after your body has been signaled to wake up, don't just go to sleep. Take one final step. It takes 3 minutes. That's it. Lie flat on your bed. Then slowly raise your legs. You can rest them on a wall. Place a pillow under your calves or simply bend your knees and lift your feet up slightly above heart level. Now breathe. Don't force anything. Don't overthink it. This moment is not about doing. It's about allowing. Because here's what's happening inside your body. Throughout the day, gravity pulls blood down toward your legs and feet. And when you're over 60, your veins aren't always strong enough to push it back efficiently. That's when circulation slows. And that's when oxygen, the fuel of performance, doesn't reach where it's needed most. But when you elevate your legs, something subtle but powerful occurs. That blood, heavy and stagnant, starts to return. It flows gently back toward your core, toward your pelvis, toward the very areas that have been quiet for too long. And when that fresh, oxygen-rich blood returns, it doesn't just nourish tissues, it whispers to your nervous system, he's not done. You see, this isn't just about blood. It's about belief. It's about giving your body a new pattern to follow, one that doesn't start with a prescription bottle, but with a simple act of intention. Now, I want you to think back. How many nights have you ended the day feeling drained, distant, or disconnected? How many mornings have you woken up without energy, without drive, without pride? And what if in just 10 minutes you could tell your body a different story? Massage to stimulate, elevation to restore. And breath to remind yourself, you're still in there. It's quiet. It's simple. It's powerful. And the more you do it, the more your body responds, not because it's magic, but because it's memory, muscle memory, blood memory, manhood memory, the kind that doesn't fade with age, only with neglect. So tonight, don't just lie down. Rise from the inside out, not with force, not with pressure, but with choice, because when you lift your legs, you lift your energy. You lift your blood. And you lift the version of yourself that refuses to fade away. Let him return. There's something strange about silence. You get used to it. When your body stops responding the way it used to, you stop asking questions. You start blaming age. You stop expecting change. You begin adjusting your life around the version of you that doesn't show up anymore. But what if I told you it wasn't you who faded? It was attention. It was blood flow. It was the quiet slowing down of signals you were never taught to listen to. You fought for others. You worked hard. You gave up sleep, rest, your own needs, to build a life for people you loved. You stood strong Well, something inside you sat down, and now, here you are, wondering why your mornings feel empty, why you wake up and avoid mirrors, why there's no fire in your legs, no pulse in your chest, no proof that the man inside is still alive, but he is. Every time you ignored your feet, you ignored the part of you that wanted to rise again. That part hasn't died. It's just waiting, quietly, patiently, for one moment of your attention, one act of belief, one spark of courage. You don't need to shout. You don't need to buy. You need to feel. Because the answer was never in a capsule, it was never in someone else's approval or a doctor's signature, it was in your own skin, waiting to be touched, moved, respected. This body you carry still knows what to do, it just needs a reason to do it again, it needs you to remember how to listen, and when you begin, not tomorrow, not next week, but tonight, with your hands, with your breath, with those small muscles you haven't thought about in years, something moves, something flows, not just in your blood, but in your pride, in your spine, in your voice, in your presence. You're not just unlocking circulation, you're unlocking you, so ask yourself quietly, when was the last time you did something just for yourself, not out of desperation, but out of belief? That moment can start now, it doesn't have to be big, it just has to be yours, and when it is, the strength you thought was gone returns, the spark you buried glows, and the man you once were stands up, because he was never truly gone. He was waiting for you to stop waiting.